child support. Not that that's a bad approach to life necessarily, but I don't want kids growing up hearing that message. I don't want kids thinking that throat and support rhyme. It's not right.
Hello my brethren, this is Niko.
Turd-flinging monkey?
I am Batman!
There is a common stereotype regarding MGTOWs that we don't get laid, don't go out, are social rejects, or are gay. This is simply a defensive rationalization known as sour grapes. If a man isn't worshipping a woman's vagina, it can only be because he's not worthy of it, or because he's gay. At least that's the rationalization women must come to, because the alternative means that there is something wrong with the woman herself, which would be unthinkable. It is difficult for even men outside of the MGTOW community to understand how any man with a normal sexual appetite can reject marriage and long-term relationships out of anything other than an immature fear of commitment. Many of us conceal our identities because being doxxed may negatively impact our careers, and thus our opponents conclude that we must be ugly. When MGTOW are doxxed and we're discovered to be attractive, it's concluded that we're gay. In reality, we're just normal guys.
It seems like because the average guy, in his early 20s is so obsessed with getting laid that most of them initially, and I was including this, can't wrap their head around a man or having more important things to do. I mean, I found that since putting women on the back burner in my life, that my time's actually been filled with things that are important to me, such as my work, my hobbies, my friends, my family, and ultimately these things are much, much more fulfilling than seeing how many dates I can go on, how many times in a week I can get laid. Those things, while surface level fun, in the scheme of things are very, very shallow. And I found that myself and many other men, at least initially before it became MGTOW, was so obsessed with that, and it was to the detriment of other things. And so the things that I find worthy of my time, my job, my hobbies, my friends, my family, these are the things, to me, that are the most important. And they don't include, right now, long-term dating and long-term relationships, which, so far as I have seen, really have a lot of input of energy, but don't have a lot of output. And when it comes to what do I gain? Is that a little bit selfish? Absolutely. But at the end of the day, a relationship should enhance your life. It should enhance your goals. You should not have to pick a relationship or long-term dating at the expense of your life mission, of your friends, of your family, of your hobbies, of the things that you love. It doesn't have to be one or the other, and it shouldn't be. No one should ever make you pick like that.
What we are saying and doing does mean that society, as it is currently constructed, cannot continue. Change is always painful, and what we're telling them is something that they have never experienced. Women are used to using their sexuality to easily manipulate sexually thirsty men, but when their tactics don't work, when MGTOW aren't impressed by their appearance or manipulative tactics, and when they're called out on their reliance on emotion rather than logical arguments, it presents a paradox that may threaten their reality. We're not fundamentally different from any other men, only in that we have seen through the lies and manipulation of women and society. What has been seen cannot be unseen, no matter how much begging, sexual manipulation or shaming you might do. If you want us to change our position, simply present a logical counter-argument or admit the current system does not benefit men and change it. Enough of the "not all women are like that" shit.
I agree with you, and I find it pathetic that these women and feminists take time to downvote our videos and leave comments to try to shame us back onto the plantation. What are they hoping to accomplish? Outside of the internet, women don't even acknowledge the existence of men whom they perceive as unworthy of their attention. In fact, if these quote-unquote unworthy men give them a compliment, these women complain about being harassed and catcalled. They want these men to simply stop existing, and yet they come onto our channels to tell us how terrible we are. Nobody is forcing you to watch our videos, let alone vote or comment on them. If we're such unworthy losers, why don't you ignore us?
Oh gosh, I hear constantly of how much I must be a loser, of how I've never gotten laid, of how I must live in my mom's basement, blah, 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 blah. And this could be further from the truth, but what's more telling is that these people come on, they listen to one of our videos, and then they just start spewing this vitriolic hate, and they don't even have any well thought out or good arguments. They just have ad hominem arguments, whereby they just try to discredit or disprove your point by discrediting your character, which has really no semblance on facts or logic. Your character, gravity, for instance, will work regardless of my character or regardless of how good or bad of a person I am while I'm discussing it. Gravity is still gravity. The facts are still the facts. The logic is still the logic. If you have a problem with my logic, or if they have a problem with my logic, they are welcome to debate it. But all they do is just use shaming language and insult us. And this just lets me know that these people who try to discredit MGTOW, disprove us, disprove of our lifestyle, are getting so desperate that they will not even try to coax us back or coddle us back, that they'll use shaming and bullying to try to get us to believe in the bull crap that they believe in.
It doesn't end there. Women often act as a herd, and they may fear that men may influence other men to act in the same way, that we will pass our message to other men, that we will warn them that the game is rigged. There is nothing to gain from a woman other than a lot of headaches, financial destruction, and possibly prison time. It threatens them that we might pass the message on, and worse, that this message might eventually reach the men that they're hoping to exploit themselves. That might mean that they won't be able to marry some sucker and never have to work again, and that they might have to support themselves.
Exactly, and women are adults, and therefore adults should be responsible for themselves. Yet when many of these millennial women get in relationships with us, they want to use us for our money, our status, emotional coddling, etc. And the thing is that they just want to use us for what we can do, what we can give them. They don't actually, many of them I don't think actually like us as people, and they want to use us for what we can give them. So therefore, being in a relationship with them is like a full-time job. And that doesn't really leave not much time to do the things that you need to do the things that you want. Since being single, since going MGTOW, since reprioritizing, I do what I want, I do when I want, and I'm responsible for myself. I know exactly what I need to do, and I go out and do it. And I don't have a relationship with a woman who demands all of my time, holding me back. And moreover, I don't have the excuse of a relationship to say that I'm being held back. No, I'm responsible for only me and myself. So if I'm not getting anywhere, I can only solely put the blame on myself. And that really, for me, has made me be much more aware of having self-ownership. And that is very powerful. Personal responsibility, self-awareness, and self-ownership.
All women view men as resources. They may say that they find the concept of female hypergamy offensive, and say that not all women are like that out of one side of their mouth, but out of the other side, they'll admit that they want a man to take care of them and provide for them. They can seduce a man in their 20s, and once they're married and have a child or two, he will not dare to leave because she will take him for everything he's worth. Men are taught that when they get married, they'll have exclusive sexual access to their wives, and thus see marriage as a tool to acquire sex. However, women use sex in order to get a man to marry her, and give her access to his money, and thus see sex as a tool to acquire marriage. Marriage is the ticket to the easy life for a woman, and even if she divorces the man later, she will get to keep the children, and the man will continue to be forced to support her through alimony and child support. MGTOW is letting men across the world know of the potential destruction that these women are capable of, and this message that we put out to anyone who listens is strong enough to perhaps wake them up out of their sleep and take the chance to control their own lives. A life without our potential being stolen by a woman looking to use us as a disposable utility.
This took a while to learn though, and many MGTOW before me have actually gone through divorces, have gone through family court, and they were destroyed, they were gutted, and through this traumatic experience they had their eyes open. Now I didn't have to go through this, I went through a bunch of shitty breakups, and that's what opened my eyes as well as the stories of others. But thankfully, with this knowledge that you guys are listening now, with the knowledge that the older MGTOWs have imparted on me, I will not make the same mistakes as my ancestors. And you guys don't have to make the same mistakes that even I did, or Niko did, or Turd Flinging Monkey did. Learn from us. Learn from our knowledge. Learn from our wisdom. We're telling you this because we genuinely want to help you. I genuinely want to help you. I want to help you live a better life, and I consume MGTOW content myself from others to try to learn how to live a better life myself. Women are equal to men, you know. They cut men loose all the time. I'm just simply doing the same thing for them. Remember, look out for yourself. Look out for your goals. And remember that getting sex from a woman is not the be-all, end-all. You get in a relationship with her, the sex is great for the first 3 months, and then it falls off or it's just not as good. And then you have to deal with all her nagging, with all her annoying habits, and if the relationship isn't worth it, it's gonna be a lot of time, it's gonna be a lot of resources that you could be using somewhere else in your life.
The fact that we have not shared any of our wealth with a woman makes us seem like unpunched tickets. I still date, yet I expect the woman to contribute equally. If a woman doesn't want to be an equal partner and just wants me to buy her free shit, I'm out of there. Even in sex, I think I give more than I take, so that is all there is. I will gladly get my sex from some other woman.
Exactly. I mean, a man trading his income, his freedoms, and his dreams in exchange for sex is a terrible deal. Remember, her looks, how many times a week she's gonna suck your dick, how many times a week you're gonna get laid, those things are gonna go over time. Remember that. The sex, her looks, her body are a depreciating asset. Your dreams, your freedom, your income, if you work hard enough, can appreciate, can rise over time exponentially if you work hard enough. Your happiness, your hobbies can all increase if you work hard enough over time.
But they know they need us. They need our money. They need us to protect them and look after them.
And after all, isn't that what feminism wanted? Strong, independent women that don't need no man? Isn't that what women of today are proclaiming themselves of being? Why would they need us and why would they need our money, right?
Well, that's it for this video. I hope you liked it. Please like, favorite, comment, and subscribe. Share this video with anyone you think it might help, and I'll see you next time.